Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Kate Silverton.
No time to rest.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and it's great to be back with you here in Geneva for what promises to be a very exciting moment in the history of McLaren Automotive. To tell us more, please now give a very warm welcome to McLaren Automotive CEO Mike Flewitt. Hey, Mike.
Kate.
Now, this time last year, we were here to launch the 570 GT. You also told us about your very ambitious business plan, Track 22. So 1 year on, is it delivering?
It's absolutely delivering. 2016 was an amazing year for us, a huge step forward, pretty much doubling production and sales to 3,300 cars. We introduced a second shift, we recruited 300 people, and put it all together. By the end of last year, we were able to celebrate producing our 10,000th car in our really short history.
So 15 cars over the course of the next few years. Educated guest tells us that this is the first.
Absolutely, and as you've seen on the film, the Super Series has really been at the core of the McLaren brand since our first car back in 2011, launching the MP4 12C and evolving through the 12C Spider, the 650S, the 675 LT, altogether 7,000 cars delivered to customers, but we're now ready for the next generation.
So second generation, as you say, replacing the first, it can't have been that easy though.
No, not easy, because being McLaren, this isn't a small incremental step. This is a very, very big step forward. But for us, what we've done with this car, we've developed this in half the time that we did with the 12C, and that's just a measure of how the company has matured through that period.
You've been teasing us, of course, as most people here will know. There have been 6, I think, news releases. We know that the car is faster, lighter, more sophisticated, more exciting to drive. We don't know what it's called, though.
No, but last week's tease was a little clue to that.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you now, Mike Flewitt, to please reveal your car.
Thanks, Kate. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really proud to present to you the first model in the second generation of the McLaren Super Series. Thank you.
The McLaren 720S.
Ladies and gentlemen, to tell us more about the McLaren 720S, please welcome the Executive Director of Product Development, Mr. Mark Vinnells.
No time to rest.
That broad smile says it all. Enormous congratulations. You must be very proud.
Well, thank you, Kate, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's an extremely proud day for everybody at McLaren.
You and your team then responsible for developing the car. Talk us through the design.
Well, we wanted to make a really big step with this car. We wanted to do something that was fresh, something that was bold, and something that would really make a big statement about McLaren design. And I hope you guys all agree. I think we've absolutely delivered on that objective. You can see on the silhouette of the car behind me that we have beautiful supercar proportions with a real cab-forward design that really emphasizes the mid-engine layout. And we've worked really hard on the corners of the car. The corners are kind of truncated and pulled in to give the car fantastic stance and presence on the road. At the front of the car, one of the key features, really, of the face of the car is this beautiful, amazing eye socket design here, where full LED headlights are actually aerodynamic surfaces within the ducts, which I think really give a purposeful face to the new Super Series. And from the side of the car, one of the key questions was, how do you cool 720 PS without an intake duct on the side? And so for us, the solution was to peel open the car. So the door has two skins with a very deep duct, so we're taking extremely fast-flowing, efficient air around the A-pillar and into the mid-mounted radiator. It's extremely aerodynamically efficient. It means we didn't need to increase the size of the cooling circuit or the radiators. At the rear of the car, very timely here, you can see we have a full-width integrated wing. Very aerodynamically efficient. I think it looks great either up or down and gives the car real width and a powerful rear. It's a McLaren, so I hope everybody would expect dihedral doors. But with these doors, we've taken the design a step further. So we've integrated part of the roof into the design. So we really have a lovely, huge open aperture now. So getting in and out of the car is very easy and straightforward. And one of the key features as well of the door is that we've designed the hinge so that it opens a full 150 millimeters closer to the side of the car. So in terms of tight parking spaces, getting in and out of the car, no problem whatsoever.
Practical. You mentioned that lovely width, that sort of meaty look. So what about the weight?
Well, one of the things I'm most proud about, and I think the team is most proud about, is the fact that despite all of the feature content, despite all of the performance increase, the 720S is a full 18 kilos lighter than the 650S that it
Wow,
replaces.
I mean, the 650 is already light, so how do you achieve that?
Well, we're completely obsessive, and I'm proud of the fact that we're obsessive, so we work really hard on minimizing the weight of every single component and system on the car. With the 720, we've increased the amount of carbon fiber. We have a trademark carbon fiber tub, but we've also now introduced for the first time a carbon fiber upper structure as well. And what the carbon fiber allows us to do is to produce these lovely slender sections in the A, the B, and the C pillars. And what that brings to the driver is amazing visibility. It's a real 360 degrees visibility, and the cabin also feels really light and airy.
So you've given as much thought from what you're saying then to the interior as obviously you have with the exterior.
Yeah, a lot of thought into the interior, and I think from our perspective, the driving position is absolutely ergonomically perfect. It's really driver-focused. We have this completely unique moving instrument display that opens, you can see there, that opens to welcome the driver, but also can be folded out of the way to give a completely uncluttered view of the road ahead. The driver display is part of a new infotainment system integrated with the center screen, which has got really rich graphics and is really intuitive to use. Great switchgear with great haptics and feel, and lovely leathers that smell fantastic. So overall, I think it's a really lovely place to be, and everybody who drives the car says it feels like a jet fighter cockpit.
Really, that's quite a compliment. Can't be that. So if we go underneath into the heart of any supercar, of course, we've got to talk about the engine.
Yeah, so it's a huge part of the development for us in terms of time and of effort. So we have a new 4-litre unit, new pistons, new conrods, new crankshaft, charge coolers, turbochargers, intake and exhaust manifolds, all precision engineered to deliver this significant step up in output. So as the name suggests, we have 720 PS, 770 newton meters of torque, which is, I think, 568 pounds-feet, so a considerable increase in output.
Okay, well, on that point then, there's been a lot of anticipation about how fast this car is, so...
Well, it's a McLaren, so I hope everybody would expect a McLaren to be fast, but I think people will be surprised at quite how fast this car is. So look at the numbers, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, 2.9 seconds. Probably even more impressively, 0 to 200 in just 7.8 seconds, going on to a top speed of 341 kilometers an hour. I hope, Kate, that nobody will be disappointed in the performance of this car.
I'm looking and everyone's eyes are widening. Okay, so ridiculously fast. That's on the straight. How does she handle?
Well, the handling's breathtaking. I think the steering, the feedback, and the control that we have the steering is the best yet. This beautiful shape delivers 56% more downforce, and we have a huge increase in grip from the tyres as well. So, big part of the development working on the tyre, 6% more mechanical grip from the tyre. And the staggering takeaway fact here is that the standard P0 road tyre delivers the same level of grip as the Trofeo R track tyre from the 650. We have completely new control software for the suspension system, which gives huge breadth. So at one extreme, on the limit, we have great control and feedback, but at the other extreme, we have this beautiful, compliant, even more compliant magic carpet ride. But from my perspective, I think one of the nicest features and one of the things that we've had most fun developing is what we're calling variable drift control, where the driver can literally, interfacing with a simple app on the screen, drag the rear of the car to set the oversteer limit. It's a really fun way for the driver to engage with the car and really to learn to exploit the huge performance in the 720S.
It does look like huge fun to drive. I'd like to get behind the wheel, as I'm sure most people would here. One man who has been behind the wheel is Mike, many times, I think. So, Mike, what's your assessment then of the handling?
Oh, the car's phenomenal, Kate. One of the privileges, I guess, of my position is that I get to spend a lot of time in these cars through development of the car, right through to sign-off. I spent a lot of time with Mark and the team, road and on track. And whilst the design of the car is immediately striking, what's most compelling about this car are the chassis dynamics and the sheer performance.
Now, I want you to bask in the glory, obviously, of your number one car, but I can't leave you without asking, when will we see number 2?
Well, the next of the 15, you'll certainly see it long before we come back here next year.
Really?
Let me say that.
Well, huge congratulations. Mike, Mark, thank you very much indeed. Thank you to you, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
That concludes the McLaren press conference.